Alexander Volkanovski believes Islam Makhachev won't be able to hold him down after bulking up to 155 pounds, and Islam questions Volk's wrestling. Joe Rogan gives his thoughts of the match between the two. Brendan Schaub thinks Volkanovski might be able to pull off the win, while other UFC fighters give their picks for the matchup. This will be an exciting release, but before we get into the full details, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Islam Makhachev criticizes Volkanovski's wrestling ahead of their matchup at UFC 284. He doesn't believe Volk has what it takes to wrestle with him for 25 minutes in the octagon. Volkanovski responds back during an interview with DC. Volkanovski not only believes he can wrestle with the current lightweight champion, he also thinks Islam will have problems with trying to hold him down and will be forced to fight standing up. "We all know your hope is to try and grab a hold of me and hold me down. And if that doesn't work, we know how uncomfortable you're gonna be in there," Volkanovski said.
My opponents say I'm gonna stop his wrestling, he not gonna take me down, but Australia don't have wrestling. That's why I don't care.
That's all.
Alex,
I don't need wrestling, I need takedown.
If you're good wrestler and you have good defense, you can go, brother, Olympic Games from Australia.
Yeah, mate. I was actually national champion. Actually, to be honest with you, yeah.
He was national champion, Islam.
You have to compete in Olympic Games.
That's all right. As you said, this is MMA.
Islam says he is not worried at all about Abid not being in his corner for this fight, and says his main mission is to beat Volkanovski so that he becomes pound-for-pound champion. "I am champion right now, but I have new goal, new target. I want to be pound-for-pound king. When you're pound-for-pound world champion, this means a lot."
This fight is so important too because I want to be #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Doesn't matter, the people inside the arena cannot help him, when the cage close and nobody can help him.
Meanwhile, Joe Rogan says Volk has a significant speed advantage against Islam and believes he might cause problems on the feet if Volk can stop the takedown. "Has Islam seen anybody that can move as fast as Volkanovski?" Rogan said. "What if he starts catching him? What if he catches him a few times on the feet and if he can avoid a takedown? I mean, you're dealing with a significantly quicker guy."
But the thing is the grappling. Like, you remember, if you look at Volkanovski, he's got real good takedown defense and he can take guys down. Took Max Holloway down a bunch. But he's not the biggest guy even at 45.
Alexander Volkanovski used to be 210 pounds, used to fight at lightweight, moved down, changed his diet, became the most dominant 145er to ever do it. 55 isn't that much of a stretch for him. He can fight at 55. I think you're getting a better version of Volkanovski at 55.
Going up to face a big guy at 55, but also, has Islam seen anybody that can move as fast as Volkanovski? What if he starts catching him? What if he catches him a few times on the feet and if he can avoid a takedown? I mean, you're dealing with a significantly quicker guy probably.
Against a guy in Islam Makhachev, who's the protege to Khabib. This guy is his coach who carries a lot of weight, says he's the best lightweight to ever do it, versus the best 145er to ever do it.
Brendan Schaub also thinks Volkanovski has a good chance of defeating Islam by using his speed and cardio. He says Islam will be very surprised of how strong Volk is, but Schaub does feel he has underestimated Islam in the past, simply because he had never seen Islam tested at the highest level until he fought former lightweight champion Charles Oliveira. "I can see ways maybe Volkanovski can pull it off. On the outside with his kicks can be an issue, he'll have a speed advantage. I do think people will be surprised by how strong Volkanovski is," Schaub said.
I was never that high on Makhachev. Like, everyone told me how good he was, and I hate when people tell me how good a guy is. I'm like, I'm not seeing it yet, bro. Like, best of all time. Like, I'm not seeing it. And then when I saw what he did against Charles Oliveira, I was like, this dude is good. He's gonna be reigning champ for quite some time.
I think Islam has a next level, otherworldly squeeze. Seems like he gets a hold of these guys and they just can't do jack.
I think he'll have some speed advantages, I think technique-wise, but when it comes to wrestling and boxing, with Makhachev, him going forward, I think stamina is going to be cardio is going to be on Volkanovski's side.
Other UFC fighters like Michael Chandler, Paddy the Baddy, and Dustin have also given their thoughts on the upcoming match at UFC 284 between Volk and Islam. Michael Chandler believes Islam needs to fight a lightweight instead of doing super fights. Paddy the Baddie admits he made a mistake picking against Islam in the previous fight against Charles, but still believes Volk will be a problem for him, and Dustin says it's a very hard fight to call.
I think Volkanovski, of all the guys who would move up, a lot of times it's a guy who's at a weight class and then they move up because they're in their natural weight and they decide to give up weight. You got to remember, Volkanovski was 210 when he was playing rugby, so he carried that power down, he carried that size down, even though his actual fighting weight is 145. So I think he'll fare well. That's part of the reason why I look at that matchup, and as a fan, I'm like, I kind of want to see that matchup. I kind of want to see him come up. But me, selfishly, for my career, obviously, I think, number one, I think it just makes sense, the normal course of action, that Islam would defend the belt against a lightweight before we start talking about super fights.
But him versus Volk's going to be a scrap. Volk, especially if Volk's power transfers up to 155, because he's probably going to have a speed advantage, and his cardio is going to hold up even more because he's moving up a weight. So it's a very interesting fight.
Who do you think wins that fight?
I don't know. That's a tough one to call. I'm not sure.
Do you think Volkanovski can pull off an upset? Will Islam prove once again his wrestling is no match for his opponents? You can let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in our next video.